What's up, traders? So let's do a complete multi-time frame analysis of some of the CHF pairs, including Euro CHF, GBP CHF, CAD CHF, and ZD CHF, and USD CHF. We see that currently these CHF pairs giving us a significant trading opportunity. So let's discuss how we can trade this instrument based on the multi-time frame analysis. So first of all, let's start with Euro CHF, starting with the bigger picture monthly. Now Euro CHF, you can see that this is a very strongly bearish market. We see back to back 2 months a strong bearish price action on Euro CHF. Now the price is at this point in the level of support, but the way the price action is formed on the monthly, we could see another drop to the downside as it's a very strongly bearish market. And this month we see a little bit of retracement, but looks like that the buyers is not getting enough fuel for going up, so we could see a drop on this instrument. Now going to the weekly to see further confirmation. Now weekly, we have seen, you see that after the big drop to the downside on Euro CHF, this is an extremely strong drop followed by little retracement. So we see that as soon as this market opened this week, the buyers even couldn't move the previous week's high, couldn't break the high. Instead, we have seen that Euro CHF strongly started to drop now at this point. So we see that the price is dropping and we could see further drop on this instrument. Now looking at the daily, we have seen that after this retracement to the upside, another drop happened with this strong bearish engulfer followed by this doji. Now this doji signifies that the sellers are very strong. If you consider the selling candle and the bullish candle, you can see that the sellers are strongly in control. As a result, today we see that the buyers even couldn't make any move to the upside. We have seen instead Euro CHF now melting to the downside. So what we could see that Euro CHF is slowly coming down to the downside, as this is a strongly bearish market. Now if we go to the 4 hour time frame, we see there is a nice looking price action confirmation for this shorting to the downside. You see, first of all, Euro CHF, there's a lot of fake move happen up and down. This is a reversal pattern, and then Euro CHF has broken to the downside. From this reversal pattern, we have seen with this long doji, the price tested this neckline, this support of this reversal pattern as a resistance, and we have seen that closed as a strong doji. Now after this doji, we have seen every 4 hour candle the price is creating a series of lower high, except this current one we have seen back to back, it has crossed to 4 hour candles dodges high, grab the liquidity. Now closing as a bearish engulfer, though it is 1 hour, around 1.5 hour remaining for this candle to be closed. But what we could potentially see that this one closing as a bearish engulfer, which can give us a really shorting opportunity. So from this zone, probably along this zone, we could see Euro CHF again going up for retracement. And on that retracement, if we see significant rejection to the downside, we might consider going short on Euro CHF with our students with a high risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at GBP CHF. Like the Euro CHF, GBP CHF is also bearish, but looks like a little bit strongly bearish than Euro CHF. Now, if we look at the multi-time frame analysis on GBP CHF, same thing we have seen after a long consolidation and deceleration on the monthly. GBP CHF started to drop after this big drop followed by this doji. Now this month we have seen significant retracement to the upside, around 50% of this long week of this doji, and then we have seen that GBP CHF now rejecting down. Now because this is a long term bearish market, there is no significant support on this move. We could potentially see a stronger move on GBP CHF, probably at least to this level of support that can give us a huge trade to the downside. Now looking at the weekly, you see that back to back to 3 weeks long week candle rejection, and followed by this week you see that the price even couldn't go up. The previous week there is a liquidity grabbing, that's a sign of a bigger move ahead on GBP CHF. What is that? You can see back to back 2 weeks there is a trend line. The previous week the price crossed all this weekly high and then closed as a doji or pin bar, so that's a sign of bigger move. So we could see now the price already has broken all this level of support on the weekly. Now we can see a bigger move on GBPCHF. Now looking at the daily, so this move is reflected on the daily time frame. You can see there is a strong bearish engulfer here on the daily time frame with a false breakout to this resistance, and then closed as a long bearish engulfer followed by this doji. Now every day we see the price was creating series of lower high, so that's a strong bearish price action. Previous day there is a narrow candle, that means that the bulls even couldn't make any effort to go take it to the price to the upside. So we see that this support is completely broken on the daily time frame. If you draw this level of support here, you can see this is the support here, support here, support here. Now with this daily candle we see it tested as a resistance, and we see that it's now rejecting. Now if we look at the intraday time frame, 4 hour, we see currently this one looks like that is closing as a bearish engulfer. That is a sign of strong drop, and as soon as this candle closes, we will consider watching price action for possible shorting opportunity probably along this zone. According to the rules of our strategies, we'll consider going short on price action confirmation from this zone to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now let's look at CAD-CHF. Now CAD-CHF, as you can see, we are already on a trade which is running in good profit with our VIP students. Now if you look at the daily time frame, uh, first of all, 4 hour time frame, you see that this bearish candle, after this bearish candle we have seen a strong pin, but that is where we have entered the short trade on CAD-CHF. Now why? Because you see that this in this 4 hour time frame we see nice looking head and shoulder. This is the head, left shoulder, right shoulder, and this head and shoulder has formed in an angular fashion. It's a bearish, price action, strong momentum to the downside with a head and shoulder, and then breakout from this head and shoulder with this big bearish candle. You can see this big bearish candle, the price has broken out this head and shoulder, followed by this long wick pin bar, which basically tested this neckline of this head and shoulder, this neckline, this previous support here. You can see that this is the support here, support here, support here, tested as a resistance with this long wick candle, and we have seen a significant rejection. So today we have seen an expected retracement to the upside with this green candle followed by this doji, and then we have seen now the sellers started to sell again a CAD-CHF. Now what we can expect now, this price to continue to drop, as this is a long term bearish market. You can see that on the daily, there is a strong daily price action that is a bearish. So you see this is the daily candle that has a full body red after this narrow doji. This is a big drop on the daily. You can see the price was creating series of lower high. So from here we could potentially see a breakdown, and then probably the price is coming down to this level of support. So there is a lot of confirmation for this one for possible shorting on CAD-CHF, and we will do the same. We are already running a trade. If we find another opportunity, definitely we will add up to winning position. This is always the healthy trading habit, that when you are winning, add up the position, losing position always cut short. So now NZD CHF, now all these CHF pairs doing the same thing, same way, especially NZD CHF also. NZD a little bit of stronger, that's why we see that the price is a little bit of a little bit of bullish, but it's still, you can see that this pattern, the price was creating a series of lower highs. So NZD CHF will be the last option for us. As you can see that we'll consider only shorting one pair from the CHF. So NZD CHF, you can see that there is a head and shoulder, as well as there is a series of lower high on this zone. And the price now, this current candle, you can see this current price action crossed this trend line completely, and that one also has grabbed liquidity from the top, and now we see the price is creating a strong bearish engulfer. So with that in mind, NZD-CHF now, after closing of this candle, if it closes as a bearish engulfer, we'll consider shorting NZD-CHF to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio. Now let's look at USD CHF. Now as you know that probably you have seen in the live stream USDCHF, we already running a trade which is in a good profit from this zone. As you can see, USDCHF also long term bearish from this head and shoulder. We have seen USD CHF has broken to the downside. This is the previous support here. Okay, this is the support here. Now this support tested as a resistance by the USD CHF. This is the resistance. This support tested as resistance, and we see that there is a significant rejection with this bearish price action on the 4-hour time frame. Now, as a result, we have seen that there is another one coming as a bearish engulfer. So this is a strongly bearish price action. If you look at the bigger picture monthly, this is also bearish. You can see every month the price was creating a series of lower high. So looking at the weekly, you see that after the weekly breakdown followed by this green candle, the price tested this previous support as resistance, and we see that significant rejection on the weekly time frame. Daily as well, we see that there is a narrow doji has been formed on the daily. A bearish price action series of lower high with a head and shoulder has formed, and also we see a daily 20 period moving average crossover and then closed back below. So this is a kind of, it's a clearly visible bearish price action. So if we look at the 4-hour time frame, we see the price already rejected from this support, and we are running a trade that is successfully going in the direction. So if we see another possibility for shorting, we'll definitely going short again, adding to the winning position to the downside with a high risk to reward ratio with our students. Now, if you find value in this analysis, then smash the like button, and also don't forget to drop a comment below to help this idea. Thank you for watching. See you soon in my next analysis.